Good morning to everyone present here. My name is Rishabh Shaju,
And my name is Aparna Rajesh.
and we will be your hosts for the day. Now, I invite Professor Padma Kumar, Head of the Department of Media Studies, Bangalore Central Campus, who is our pillar of strength and constant support system, to deliver the welcome address.
A very warm and pleasant morning to all of you attending this session. It's indeed a great joy to have the 12th edition of Media Meet launched today. Of course, these are very troubling times, and we get our daily dose of panic when we open the newspaper, when we watch the news, when we check on our Twitter or WhatsApp and all that. That's indeed true. But we should also remember that life has to move on, and there is a lot that needs to be done. Given this particular context, we in the Department of Media Studies decided that we must confront the crisis. We should dare to confront the crisis and have clarity and confidence in the kind of choices that we make. It is with this kind of an impetus that we decided to focus on media crisis, challenges, and choices, and have it as the theme for deliberation over the next 2 days, and also one on September 12th, when you're going to have the set of paper presentations to be attended to. I would also like to take pleasure in inviting our Dean of the School of Arts and Humanities, Dr. John Joseph Kennedy. Sir has been with Christ for almost now 30 plus years, and has been doing yeoman service not just for the school, but for the institution as such. Thank you so much, sir, for having joined us. I take pleasure in inviting you this morning. Next, I would like to invite our chief guest of the day, the keynote speaker, Paranjoy Guhathakur sir. He has put in almost 4 decades of journalistic service. So, sir is going to touch almost 45 years in a very short span of time. And it's not just about being in the print industry. He has been in the broadcast industry. He is now venturing into digital news platforms and doing some delightful work over there. And apart from that, he has also made documentary films. He has authored more than 6 books, and he is someone whom anybody in journalism ought to follow very rigorously. Thank you so much, sir, for all your services. And we are happy and honored to welcome you this morning. Thank you very much, sir.
It's my honor, my privilege, Professor Padma Kumar.
And let me also take this opportunity to welcome Aparna and Apurva, our Media Meet conveners of 2020. In fact, it was in 2020 we made a huge call to go online and make it international and have it for 3 days. And when such a new venture was being taken up, we had to have 2 students who are vibrant and who have this take charge attitude and ensure that everything happens the way in which we envision it. And Aparna and Apurva were the ones who did that with a team of other students and guided by a very enterprising set of faculty. So we are having them here for this session. So warm welcome to Apurva and Anjali. And let me invite the conveners of Media Meet 2021, Dr. Ajay Kumar and Dr. Kannan. They have been the architects of Media Meet 2021, and for almost 2.5 months, I don't think they would have had any other thought other than ensuring that Media Meet 2021 happens in the best way possible. So on behalf of the rest of the organizing team and the participants, let me welcome both of you, sirs. And they have been ably supported by Dia Kurian and Dishant Rajshekhar, the student conveners of Media Meet 2021. Warm welcome to both of you. And you've put in all the efforts. For sure, these 2 days would be something that allows a lot of very meaningful academic and professional deliberations. So warm welcome to both of you. And it's my pleasure to invite all my dear colleagues from the Department of Media Studies from both the Central Campus and the Banagada campus, and also all academicians from Christ and also from other institutions who are attending this meeting. And apart from that, all the participants who have come from India and abroad. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, and a very, very warm welcome to all our dear students. I hope you would make use of the opportunity that is being presented to you, and let's grow together. Thank you very much.
Now, we will have the concept note by our faculty convener for Media Meet 2021, Dr. Ajay Kumar, who is the head of the Department of Media Studies from the Bannerghatta campus. Over to Ajay, sir.
In the past months, has it suddenly occurred to you that this whole pandemic could be a dream, a nightmare, that you would wake up and everything would be all right, that you would not have to think about getting infected because you received a parcel from a delivery person, that you would be able to lose yourself in the fictional French city in Wes Anderson's upcoming A French Dispatch in the cinema theater without minding the vacant seat next to you in October this year, that you would be able to plan a trip without any guilt or fear. I'm sure most of us must have had these feelings. For the last few days, I have also been overly thinking about the one question that has baffled human beings for a long time. What is my purpose here? Does anything that I do have any meaning, and so on? Symptoms of what is called the existential crisis. I don't know if it's the midlife crisis hitting, or is it the life, or rather the lack of it in the lockdown. On another note, it's not surprising that Merriam-Webster's word of the year for 2020 was pandemic. With the kind of unprecedented year that it was, Oxford declared that no single word could sum up 2020. With the multi-pronged crisis posed by the pandemic made the importance of media evident of all sections of the society. They also resulted in the media being put to scrutiny like never before. At the same time, almost every section of media, film, television, advertising, music, gaming, print, and digital were faced with their own challenges, and they came up with their own solutions. Not all solutions were equally considerate of the media workers, though. While the streaming media experienced a staggering rise of consumption, user base, and profits, news workers were faced with layoffs and cutbacks. Media Meet 2021 attempts to bring together the stakeholders, including those from the media industry and the academia, to comprehend the breadth of the repercussions and to conceive ideas that could make the media industries more resilient. It was difficult to cover all the various industries within the larger media sector in a span of 2 days. However, we have managed to incorporate discussions by eminent media professionals on media education, journalism, advertising, public relations, cinema, television, and health communication, among others. From the abstracts that we have received for the research paper presentations scheduled on September 11th, 2021, we gather that a lot more diverse issues will be covered. Despite the existential dread that the media industry itself and many of us individually might be going through, we need to remain hopeful in the spirit of the Austrian psychiatrist, philosopher, and a Holocaust survivor, Viktor Frankl, who in his classic book, Man's Search for Meaning, writes, "When we can no longer change the situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." With these words, I welcome you all to these 2 days of deliberations on ways to challenge ourselves, to change, or rather evolve ourselves and the media for a better world. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ajay. I would now like to call the Dean of School of Arts and Humanities, Dr. John Joseph Kennedy, who has given us tremendous support and inspiration to address the audience about Media Meet 2021.
Dear esteemed chief guest, Mr. Paranjoy Guhatahurta, Professor Padma Kumar, head of the department, Central Campus, Media Studies Department, Dr. Ajay Kumar and Dr. Kannan, faculty conveners, student conveners, members of faculty, very, very good morning to all of you. I'm indeed delighted to be part of this edition of Media Meet, the 12th edition, as it was mentioned before. We started this in 2010, and it has been growing steadily, and every year, it becomes bigger and better. So that's a very good sign. I'm really happy, as the dean of the school, to witness this tremendous growth, right? So this is again an international conference, as we did last year as well, which indeed elicited a very, very good response. So thank you to the organizers, particularly the department heads, the two campuses put together, working very hard to take this forward. So congratulations. So let me place on record my sincere gratitude, to all of you for this. And I'm also particularly happy to be part of this because, again, we have a very, very eminent journalist today with us. Mr. Paranjoy has been to Christ before. I remember listening to him. He's a very, very effective, powerful speaker who is very forthright, doesn't mince words, right? I mean, very straightforward. So I'm really looking forward to listening to him once again. And as always, the Media Studies Department has chosen to discuss very important issues. This time also, the theme is quite an interesting one, the way I see it, media/crises, challenges, and choices. I think, it aptly describes the hard realities and the harsh realities of life, the kind of experiences that we have, not just because of the pandemic. Of course, pandemic perhaps has complicated things further, but even otherwise, all right, these are very, very difficult situations, that we have, not just in India, but, world over. And therefore, when we come across these challenges, what are the choices that we are expected to make? Very informed kind of decisions and choices that both journalists as well as the public, will have to make. So I think it describes, the problems that all of us face today, right? Media per se is in critical condition, right? It is in crisis. And it faces a lot of its own problems. Challenges are always there. And journalists and media houses, therefore, are called upon every minute, all right, that they are in the field or, in their offices, every minute, they're called upon to make very, very important choices and sometimes very difficult ones, I understand. So I'm sure, this conference is going to discuss, the kind of problems that we're facing and perhaps, how we need to also overcome, these challenges. And when we talk about challenges, I was just thinking, there are lots of external challenges, no doubt about it. We have the government, for instance, which poses a lot of, difficulties, problems to media houses, to journalists, because they are the power centers, all right? And then we have the politicians, we have business houses, and today we all know that most of the media houses are being controlled, by large, business houses, large corporations. And of course, we also have powerful individuals, who have a lot of say, right? And they also control. So a lot of external, controlling mechanisms, that we need to contend with, no doubt about it. Apart from this, we also have the internal challenge, all right? And I'm just, thinking about it, a little more deeply, all right, at this point in time, right? Apart from the external challenges, the internal challenge for me is a little more important. The knowledge, or the realization, that journalism can never be completely objective, is something that I think all young aspiring journalists, will have to first understand, all right, because we all, enter this field. I know, I mean, I've spoken to a lot of students, they come with all kinds of dreams and aspirations, they want to change the world, they want to make a difference, and then they have their own role models in the field of journalism, right? So they come with a lot of interest and dreams and aspirations. But what happens in the long run, or even after a few years when you interact with them, you realize that they get a little disillusioned, all right? Because the hard realities, strike them hard, hit them so hard that they lose sometimes, the interest with which, or the enthusiasm with which they began. And of course, there are many reasons for this, all right? I'm sure, our teachers have taught us, so many things about, what news, what constitutes news, who determines, what news is, so on and so forth. All right. What is news? All right. Who decides what is news? Obviously, we have our own hierarchical, structures in all organizations, and more often than not, these are things decided by our own superiors. All right. How should it be reported even? All right. The kind of language that we use, the kind of vocabulary that we use, what is the kind of diction, that should be used? All this, to a large extent, is decided by our own superiors. So in that sense, what I'm trying to say is, the construction, of what reality is sometimes thrust on us by somebody else. And this comes in conflict, with our own construction of, reality. And this is a major dilemma, that all of us go through, right? Because we also have our own constructed realities as individuals, our own subjectivities. And no doubt, that our writings are shaped and influenced, by these constructions. And then when we report certain things, sometimes these constructions are further, getting modified, by our bosses' interpretation or understanding of his or her own constructed worldviews. So very often we are asked this question: where is the objectivity in all this? All right, I don't know. All right, I have no answers, to this. Perhaps, Mr. Parajoy would be able to shed some light on this, right? But what I'm trying to tell you is, it is a myth actually in journalism, that there is complete kind of objectivity. I don't think anyone today, believes, that there is complete objectivity. But what is more important as, journalists and the public, who are consumers, of what is being given to us every day? Awareness. All right. I think for me, that is a very key word. All right. Awareness of what we are doing. And if that awareness is there, I feel to a large extent, we can minimize, the level of subjectivity in our perception of things and in our reporting of things. I think that is the most important internal challenge, that I want you to remember here. And that is why I say the choice that we make, is going to be very, very crucial. All right. So this puts the onus on individual journalists, right? I mean, the individual responsibility becomes very, very important. So I hope while discussing, the external challenges that are huge, especially in today's context, we also look into some of these internal dilemmas and challenges that we are likely to face. And I hope the Media Meet 2021 will take all these factors into account, deliberate on how to, or to what extent can the media faithfully, honestly discharge its duties, obligations, because there's a lot of moral responsibility, that journalists are required to, exercise today, right? So I know, even as I say that there's no one answer, but we need to, make attempts, right? And this, I think, 2021 Media Meet is one such attempt, and this is a good forum to make a beginning. So wishing all of you, everybody who is involved in the Media Meet 2021, all the student conveners, particularly because I know you've been working very hard, and the faculty conveners and the departments involved, and of course the participants, wishing all of you a very fruitful and a meaningful engagement. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. John Joseph Kennedy, for those valuable words. Now, it is with much honor that I invite Apurva Balaraju and Anjali Sharma, the student coordinators of Media Meet 2020. Apurva and Anjali headed the Media Meet team of 2020, that is last year, and it is a great pleasure to be able to hear from them this year. Over to you, Apurva and Anjali.
Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to Media Meet 2021. I'm Anjali Sharma.
And I'm Apurva Balaraju, and we were the student representatives of Media Meet 2020. Time has flown by so fast, and we can't believe the department's already hosting Media Meet 2021. Media Meet has always been a special event for the students and the teachers of the Media Studies department at Christ deemed to be University.
In its 12th edition, Media Meet has seen exponential growth over the years and has been a huge learning opportunity for the department, the students, the guests, and the speakers attending this session.
Over the years, we've focused on themes like big data, cinema, media ethics, media literacy, and many more, where industry experts and academic experts have always been eager to share their knowledge with not only the students, but with the people of interest from the country and across the globe.
With the main focus on academic and industrial field of media, we have had panel discussions, workshops, paper presentations by experts in those fields.
After volunteering in Media Meet 2019, we were more than excited and eager to participate in Media Meet 2020. But we were faced with challenges that no one had anticipated. But in the end, we welcomed the virtual world with open arms.
Because of this new online world, we were able to use it to our best and go beyond our own limits and horizons and have guests across the globe.
Student body has always been the core strength of Media Meet, and it has never been just a fest, but a place for growth in knowledge, experiences, connections, and unbreakable relationships among the students, the faculties, and the guests of Media Meet.
What we think is learning should never cease to stop, and we have our own pandemic situation, so we should go beyond this and we should work it out. And with this, Media Meet is back with a new theme, with a new session, which will be very relevant during these times. And with that, we would like to welcome you all to Media Meet 2021. Rishabh, over to you.
Thank you, Apurva and Anjali, both for sharing your experiences with all of us, and also for recounting the immense joy that comes with both hosting and participating in Media Meet. Moving on, I now invite the Christ Choir from the Bangalore Central Campus to capture our audience with their melodious music.
Once was a kingdom in fairest of lands, fed by a river so true. And all of the kingdom drew life from its waters, and beauty and wisdom it grew.
For high in the mountains, the tiniest brook gave its life to a stream. The streams flowed together and came to the river to join and sing. Flow to the river, hear the waters cry. We must flow to the river to keep this kingdom alive.
Outside the kingdom lay dry barren land, in spite of the river so true. The life in its water was there for the taking. No one knew.
So the river cried out to the brooks and the streams, come carve out a pathway to me, and together we'll rush through this dry desert land with the song of spring. to flow.